Lights turn down in the hallway, shadows on the wall. One more chapter open before the night grows small. They curl beneath the blanket, eyes still wide and bright, waiting for a hero to guide them through the night. I breathe before I start to read, to steady my own voice, so every word sounds gentle, like a safe and careful choice. Bedtime stories hurt to tell when my heart feels thin. I smile through the final page and keep the sadness, and their dreams begin to rise above the ceiling's quiet air. Bedtime stories hurt tonight, but I am always there. Dragons fade to stardust, princesses run free. Their laughter in the bedroom feels like therapy to me. You stand outside the doorway, listening close and still. We share this moment silently, with practice, goodwill. The lamp glows soft and golden across their sleepy face. I wish I could rewrite what time cannot replace. Bedtime stories hurt to tell when I hold back tears, turning pages bravely through these fragile years. Their breathing grows more peaceful while I fight my own despair. Bedtime stories hurt tonight, but love is always there. One day they won't need stories from the room next door. They'll write their own adventures and close this chapter's door. Until that distant evening, I'll sit beside the light. Bedtime stories hurt sometimes in the quiet glow, but every tale I read them helps their courage grow. If pain hides in my whisper, they never seem to know. Bedtime stories hurt tonight, yet love Bowls lined up beside the sink, shoes scattered near the door. Small voices fill the hallway air, 4 chairs across the floor. Morning light through kitchen glass, the clock moves quietly. We speak in careful passing words like strangers used to be. You read numbers on your screen, I watch the doorway frame. Every morning starts the same. Breakfast for 4 at a quiet table, spoons tapping porcelain slow. 2 small laughs in the middle of us, holding the house together somehow. The world outside waits loudly, but here we pretend once more that love still lives between the chairs at breakfast for 4. About a meeting time, our voices stay low and numb. I tie a ribbon in her hair, you search your bag for keys. We move around each other softly like drifting winter seas. Something faded long ago, neither one will name. Still the morning the same. Breakfast for 4 at a quiet table, cereal circles slowly spin. 2 small smiles between the silence, trying to keep the sunlight in. Your chair scrapes across the floor, then footsteps to the door. Another morning held together by breakfast for 4. They laugh about a playground game, crumbs fall across the wood. For a moment we look almost whole, the way a family should. I hold that sound inside my chest before the hallway clears. Breakfast for 4 at the quiet table, their voices bright and free. 2 small lives between our shadows, still believe in what they see. The plates grow cold between us, the morning slips the door, and love pretends a little longer at breakfast for 4. Colored candles on the cake, paper crowns across the floor, tiny footsteps steps running circles down the brightened corridor. Their voices bounce against the walls like bells inside the room. For a while the house remembers how laughter used to bloom. You stand beside the doorway watching quietly. I clap along with every cheer so no one notices me. Children laugh loud in the living room, echoes bright and wild. For a moment all the shadows stepped aside. For every child their joy filled every corner where silence often stood. Children laughed loud in the living room, and everything felt good. Streamers drift from ceiling fans, bright balloons against the light, sticky fingers grabbing frosting, every face a sweet delight. You help them cut the second slice, our hands brushed by mistake. We smiled for photographs again, for memory's gentle sake. They sang the song together, clapping out of time. Their happiness surrounded us like sunlight we could borrow. Children laughed loud in the living room, running down the hall. For a moment we looked almost whole, like nothing hurt at all. Their joy filled every corner where quiet pain had stood. Children laughed loud in the living room, and everything felt good. Later when the candles fade and paper plates are gone, the house returns to softer sounds after the laughter's drawn. But I keep every echo close. Children laugh loud in the living room, voices bright and free. Little stars across the evening shining briefly over me. Their joy lit every shadow like it somehow should. Children laughed loud in the living room, and the world felt briefly good. Chair angled toward the screen, morning light across your face, fingers moving through messages like you're somewhere far away. The window hums with traffic sounds, the kettle softly sighs. I wait for one small moment where our wandering glances rise. But the seconds drift between us like pages turning slow. Words circle in my chest with nowhere left to go. about the school tonight, like part of a practice plan. I nodded while the sunlight moved slowly on the floor. Two actors in the morning scene, we've both rehearsed before. Something fragile broke somewhere, years we cannot name. Now quiet fills the frame. You avoided eye contact again, like distance kept you safe. Like a look across the kitchen might expose what we became. Your gaze stayed on the glowing screen while the morning slipped away, and every unsaid feeling learned another way to stay. Once your eyes would search for mine across a crowded room. Now they travel past my shoulder like I'm fading in the gloom. I wonder if you notice how quiet we've become. You avoided eye contact again, and I pretended not to see how the distance in your silence built another wall in me. Your chair slid back so slowly, the hallway closed the door, and the quiet stayed beside me like it always has before. Books spread across the table, pencils lined in rows, numbers on the worksheet only I can show. Your voice across the hallway asking for the date. I answer while pretending that nothing feels too late. Equations on the paper, problems in my chest. I solve what I can manage and quietly ignore the rest. Homework and heartache in the same night, under one small lamp. I explain the lesson gently with a tired hand. Their futures on the notebook, my feelings tucked away. Homework and heartache sharing the hours of the day. They lean in close beside me, waiting for a clue. I draw the lines again until the answer's true. You pass through the doorway, checking on their progress. We exchange a nod so careful, as if that says the rest. The clock keeps moving forward while I stay in place, guiding childhood dreams with a steady rise above and answer every call. Even when my spirit aches, I stay until it's through. Homework and heartache shaping the strength inside of you. Bedrooms stand untouched now, curtains barely move. Footsteps no longer echo down the empty room. The staircase feels much taller than it used to seem. Walls remember conversations living inside a dream. Backpacks by the hallway, no shoes across the floor. Just quiet stretching further than it ever was before. The house grew large without their sound. Rooms became so wide. Every corner holds the silence we can't seem to hide. What once was filled with motion now rests in common space. The house grew large around us in this quiet place. Unused mugs in the cupboard, plates stacked neatly still. Kitchen light stays glowing out of habit, not of will. We move through open spaces like guests inside our home. Two people in a building that feels completely grown. Windows show the distance between now and then. Echoes of their childhood won't return again. The house grew large after they left. Its walls stretched thin and tall. The laughter that once anchored it now lingers down the hall. We sit in different rooms sometimes, listening to the air. Maybe space can teach us how to hear again, without the constant motion of children and their friends. The quiet isn't empty, it's simply rearranged. The house grew large, yet here we are, standing side by by side, two hearts inside the openness where years have slowly dried. The rooms may feel much bigger, but we remain the core. The house grew large around us, not less, just more. Folded clothes into a bag, only what I need. No shouting in the doorway, no urgency to plead. The morning felt unusually still, like it understood that something long completed was finally good. No anger in the hallway, no broken plates or sound, just decades settling gently as I placed them down. I finally left without a scene, without a storm or cry, just quiet footsteps on the path under an open sky. No need for explanations, no blame to reconcile. I finally left in dignity with a steady smile. Children grown and moving into lives of their own. The house no longer needed a mother as its throne. I closed the door behind me with gratitude inside for all the years of giving and the strength I used to hide. Unfamiliar, not loud, not wild, just a gentle rediscovery of the woman and the child. I finally left a quiet role I carried for so long, not from bitterness or rage, was arriving at my own, I finally left, and I am whole, not broken by the past. The love I gave will stay within long after seasons pass. The road ahead feels open, the air feels clean and bright. I finally left to find myself in morning light. Mirror in the morning light shows what time is drawn. Fine lines near my quiet eyes from nights that lingered long. The color in my reflection feels softer than before, not from age alone, but from the weight behind the door. Every year wrote something across my steady face, patience carved in silence in this familiar place. I looked older in a photograph, standing in the hall, not because of candles or seasons turning tall, but from holding every feeling inside without a sound. I looked older in the mirror where truth could be found. Friends would say I seemed so calm, so strong and put together. They never saw the private storms I carried through the weather. Wrinkles near my smile lines from laughter I pretended. Strength became my uniform until the role was ended. Time was not the enemy, just passing through my days. But something in the quiet changed me in subtle ways. I looked older in the evening light after long routines, from folding hopes and cleaning up the spaces in between. Not from sorrow only, but from loving through the strain. I looked older in the mirror, yet I still remain. Lines on my skin remember every silent choice, every bedtime whisper, every lowered voice. The years became my teachers, written gently on my face. I looked older, yes, but wiser too. In the glass tonight, carrying decades of devotion. fading light. The mirror does not judge me for what I've been through. I looked older in the mirror because I stayed for you. Bread laid flat upon the board, morning barely awake. Peanut butter spreads in circles with every small mistake. The window shows a pale gray sky, the house still half in sleep. My hands move through the routine while tears fall quietly. Paper bags and folded notes, names written in blue. I steady both my shaking hands before they see the truth. I pack lunches, crying in the light, soft tears falling on the bread, trying to hold a steady voice for the words I haven't said. Two small bags beside the door, ready for the day, while something fragile in my chest keeps breaking anyway. Footsteps slowly down the hall, their voices bright and warm. They ask about a playground game like every other morn. I wipe the counter carefully, pretend a room is fine. Smile while tying shoelaces and hiding what is mine. They grab the bags and laugh again. The hallway fills with sound. I keep my breathing quiet so nothing tumbles down. I pack lunches, crying in the light, hands trembling but calm, holding together small routines like shelter from a storm. Two small bags beside the door, carried far from here, while something in the quiet house still echoes every tear. They only see the smiling side, the one that stays composed. A mother standing in the morning where the deeper truth is closed. The door shuts softly down the hall. She's crying in the light, morning moving on. Two small shadows down the street before the day is gone. The counter holds the quiet now, where crumbs remain alone, and all the words I swallowed stay buried in my bones. Sentences half said. I watch the light move slowly across the quiet bed. There was no reason given, no storm to justify, just space growing between us, same sky. I counted every reason, folded them in two, try to balance future against what we once knew. I stayed anyway through every season, held the house in place, kept the calendar turning, wore a steady face, not for applause or promise, not for what remained. I stayed anyway through silence, through everything unclaimed. School forms on the counter, bills stacked by the wall. I signed my name beside yours to keep it stable for them all. Even when the nights fell long and conversation thin, I stitched the days together from the outside in. Love became a habit, routine and responsibility. I learned to carry weight without losing dignity. I stayed anyway through every season, through the quiet years, turned my heartbreak into action, hidden behind careers. No dramatic ending, no final fight displayed. I stayed anyway in hope of what our children made. Some nights I asked the ceiling if this was strength or fear, but choosing there tomorrow kept me anchored here. I gave my years in pieces without a single cry. I stayed anyway for their beginning, for the life they grow, every sacrifice a chapter. Only I would know. Now the rooms remember footsteps from decades that have passed. I stayed anyway for love until the season asked. Suitcases by the doorway, labels written clear, zippers making echoes in a house grown quiet here. The hallway feels much longer without their running feet. The mornings are more open but strangely incomplete. We load the car in silence, trying not to cry, smiles held together as we wave goodbye. Kids went to college this year, rooms left clean and bare, posters coming off the walls where laughter used to air. The driveway looks too empty when the car pulls away. Kids went to college this year, and everything changed today. Their desks still hold old notebooks, drawings on the shelf. I leave them there untouched as a memory of itself. You stand beside the window, watching down the street. Two parents learning slowly a different kind of beat. No more homework questions, no late night school events, just open time surrounding us with unfamiliar scents. Kids went to college this season, carrying their dreams across the threshold of our home into wider streams. The echo in the bedrooms feels louder than before. Kids went to college this year, and we are something more. We built this house with purpose through every sleepless night. Now it holds our memories in softer afternoon light. They return on holidays. Kids went to college, yes they did. The future open wide. We stand here proud and aching with gratitude inside. The rooms will hold new chapters, the doors will close and start. Kids went to college this year, and never something more, and never from our heart. Voices drifting through the room, glasses resting in our hands. Someone tells a lively story, Everyone leans in and laughs. We stand side by side politely, two smiles carefully worn, photographs beneath warm lighting, where something else feels torn. Questions float between the plates. How have you two been? We answer like rehearsed lines. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, where laughter filled the air. Two silhouettes beside each other, with nothing left to share. Our hands would touch for seconds, so strangers saw the proof. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, beneath a polished truth. Someone asks about the children, another pours some wine. You nod gently at the question, while I echo every line. A friend recalls our wedding day, music bright and strong. I hold the smile a moment more, and quietly move along. Chairs scrape softly on the floor, voices fade and rise, but silence waits between our eyes. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, with candles burning low. Every shared appearance a careful little show. We stand beneath the ceiling lights, where everyone approves. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, inside our practice moves. Once we filled the quiet space with plans and midnight talk. Now we trade polite small words and walk the same old walk. No storm, no broken glass, just distance without sound. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, where applause can hide the ache. Two people framed together in a portrait slightly fake. The night folds up around us, the guests all say goodbye. Marriage felt hollow in crowded rooms, while truth stood quietly by. I counted every birthday, every school event, every quiet evening where my own hours went. Love was not the reason that kept me in the fray. was their steady breathing that carried my name. No applause for sacrifice, no medals for restraint, just years of gentle choices without complaint. I stayed for the children through silence and the rain, built their world with steady hands while hiding private pain. Not because I was lost, not because I stayed small. I stayed for the children through it all. I watched them grow and flourish into lives of their own. Their futures now unfolding in places they have known. The house no longer echoes with toys upon the floor, but I hear every memory behind each closing door. The years were not wasted, they shaped who I became. Strength was born in stillness and patience in the name. I stayed for the children, for every whispered dream, for every scraped knee mended, and every costume seen. If love felt different later, that truth I understand. I stayed for the children with an open hand. Now they stand as adults with lives they've built themselves. The shelves hold only photos and stories on the shelves. I gave them years of presents, no matter what it cost. But I am not forgotten in everything I lost. I stayed for the children, and I would do the same. Every quiet morning, every family name. Now my time begins again with strength I've earned and won. I stayed for the children, and my work is done. Night settles into the hallway, a dim lamp soft and low. The quiet fills the doorway where warmth used to glow. Sheets cool across the mattress, your shoulder turned away. The room holds careful distance at the end of every day. Two shadows on the ceiling, neither one moves near. The Silence stretches longer here by quiet year. We slept separate sides tonight, space where hands once met. Two breathing hearts in darkness, learning slowly to forget. The window shows the pale street light while hours pass unseen. We slept separate sides tonight, where love once used to lean. Turning like time without a sound. Every quiet evening, the distance grows around. I wonder if you notice the miles in this room, or if the quiet feels like separate sides tonight, two islands in the dark, a fading constellation where there was once a spark. The mattress holds the outline of everything we've been. We slept separate sides tonight, and morning waits again. Your hand would reach for mine before the night grew deep. Now the dark lies calmly between the dreams we keep. The ceiling fan keeps turning slow. We slept separate sides tonight, the quiet thick and wide. Two people sharing shelter, but standing worlds aside. The streetlight fades toward morning, a pale and distant gleam. We slept separate sides tonight, inside a silent dream. Your hand upon my shoulder at the doorway light, a greeting in the hallway before we say goodnight. The gesture looks familiar from photographs and years, but something in the motion feels measured, not sincere. No trembling in the fingertips, no warmth that lingers long, just routine connection where emotion once belonged. Your touch felt formal in the dark, like a duty to perform, a careful sign of partnership inside a quiet storm. crossed my skin politely, then quickly slipped away. Your touch felt formal in the night, not meant to stay. At gatherings with relatives, we stand and practice pose, hands linked for observation. As everyone close knows, the camera flashes briefly. We lean in side by side, a symbol of commitment we quietly provide. But when the room grows empty and footsteps fade from sight, the space between our fingers returns without a fight. Your touch felt formal at the table during family talks, a scripted kind of closeness while we follow proper walks. A kiss upon the cheek for show before the guests could see. Your touch felt formal, careful, not truly touching me. Speaks in layers. Your touch felt formal in the evening when the lights grew dim, a gesture kept for appearances, not for feeling within. I hold the memory of warmth from years that felt alive. Your touch felt formal in the present, while I try to survive.